good? This is your girl, Draya Ivy, introducing my new show, Ivy Talks, the dopest podcast coming out of the beautiful city that is Miami, Florida, featuring the best artist interviews, covering the illest events in the city as we propel the culture of hip-hop and R&B. Make sure to check out Ivy Talks each and every Monday from 11 p.m. to midnight on iLive UK, changing the way you listen to radio. Let's talk.
You're listening to iLive Radio.
All right, so what's good? Here we are. Welcome to Ivy Talks, episode number 8. This is your host, Miss Draya Ivy, and I am sitting here alongside my lovely co-host,
Lex-Roc, Holla Rock, you're on IG. Welcome. Ivy Talks, episode 8.
Episode number 8. Episode number 8 representing the infinity sign, which I'm a huge advocate of. I just had to throw that in there.
Like the car?
The actual sign.
Oh, got you.
The actual mathematical sign of infinity is a number 8. Yeah, let me throw out some randomness out here. This is actually, we're reporting, not live, but you get me, live. We're reporting in the daytime. This is my first episode in the daytime. And let me tell you something. It's a little different. I guess I'm more of a night owl. But I think someone else in the room can agree with me. My magical producer in the cut over here who's trying to be quiet. What's up, Luke?
Luke, what up?
Luke, what's good?
I only speak when I'm addressed.
I'm sorry?
I only speak when I'm addressed. So
is that right?
I'm trying to be quiet.
I find
this
that
is
very...
your podcast.
I find that hard to believe.
During your podcast.
And you're one of my favorite parts of my podcast. How about that?
I appreciate that.
Oh, look at the flattery. So we're here. How's everyone doing? Let's talk about the week. Let's talk about, before we get into any given topic, I want to know what's going on. What's going on? How are my co-hosts doing?
Oh, I'm good. Life is good. Everything's great.
Oh, how vague.
Trying to get the streets what they want, the listeners on YouTube, and, let's drop it. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. What about you, Luke? How you doing? How was your week?
Busy. Just trying to get my piece of the pie before Disney buys everything.
Oh, and of course, I always got to give my shout outs in the beginning, like I'm still getting these intros down. But definitely shout out to iLive UK, iLive Toronto, and iLiveRadio.com. That's the family overseas.
What up?
What up overseas? What up to my London folks?
T-Dot, what's good?
T-Dot was good. And also to, of course, the production team, the man who makes it work behind the scenes, but also interactively, Mr. Luke, who represents at Minds Wide Open.
That is correct.
And let me give a shout out to Luke. I wanted to let everyone know that the listeners out here, what I appreciate about Luke is that not only does he run his own podcast studio out here in Hollywood, Florida, which is between the 954 and the 305.
Oh, it's in the 954.
Nah, he loves fucking with me because I say Miami. He's like, it's really Fort Lauderdale. And I'm like, nobody in the world knows that it's Fort Lauderdale.
It's really Broward.
People know about Broward.
I mean... We
got the likes of Ace Hood, Triple X, Testacion,
we do.
Kodak Black. People definitely know about Broward.
Never will.
Well, okay, all right. You're right. I get you. I feel you. But I just tease you. But I wanted to commend you because for the listeners out here, I want to let everyone know that we have someone out here who is promoting local events and local ciphers for artists that harbor, the 954, which is Broward County, and also Miami-Dade County, which is the 305. I don't know if anyone's coming from West Palm. I'm not sure if anyone's taking that hike. But even if they are,
it's happened. We're
talking about South Florida, and we're talking about an event that took place last weekend. And artists in the building, nothing but good vibes. People who you would have never heard of or seen of or even had the opportunity to network with before being in the building with what you got going on here at Minds Wide Open. And I salute you for that. Because we need, and a big part of what this podcast represents is unity and unity within artists and highlighting South Florida as a huge place of talent. Like it's nuts, and we need to support each other way more, and I salute you for that. So I wanted to.
Did you catch many performances?
I did catch a couple of them.
Any preferences there? Any
Mr. Fortnite, I must say I enjoyed the most. I enjoyed him the most for, there's something about his aura that I would say is a little different. I do think that, talking from my people in London, and I'll definitely be getting their opinion, is he has a very artistic way of expressing hip hop that's not like, okay, you're like overly trying to be like an artist. Like, okay, we get it. Like, you're abstract. It's not like that. It's actually genuine, and his energy and actually his effect on people. What I love paying attention to with artists is their effect on other people, their audience, their fans, and he's definitely one of those. I can see it working out for him.
Absolutely.
Well, we need to get him out in London. And I know some event promoters who are ready to bring out some American talent.
He's a guarantee from down here for sure.
Yeah, you got to check him out, Lex. You got to check him out.
Put me on.
No, we're putting you on. We're putting you on. All right, so let's get to current events of this week. Moving along. And
Month of November, it's a lot.
the month of November, what is, oh, God, Thanksgiving.
Shit, the way they do it is Christmas.
The Thanksgiving, Black Friday, the whole, everybody spending money on all these kind of things, and families seeing each other once, that one time a year.
Yeah, you got to do it though.
Yeah,
you got to do it for the
yeah.
family and
You
friends.
gotta
That's
do
what the
it.
holiday's about.
You got to do it for the family, and of course it's Jesus' birthday, right?
Not in November, but
No. I'm saying you were saying Christmas.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just saying it's Jesus' birthday, right?
Yeah,
Is it?
that's what they say.
So Jesus is king?
Huh? Yeah, it's easy.
Have you heard the album? Let's talk Jesus is King, because his rollout, I ain't seen no rollout like this in like, I can't even remember. Have you heard the album?
Nah, I haven't.
I'm sorry?
What aspects of the rollout?
The intensity of it. You're on every late night talk show. You're doing you're making basic, like I forget this guy's name. He's British. The one who does all the sing-alongs with all the
Corbin.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, that shit on the plane was dope. I seen.
That shit is dope and very creative. I'll give Ye that. But to even have production on that type of level, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, maybe Cardi B in a certain level, and even with Cardi B, it was a certain shock value because of the fact that no one knew people knew who Cardi B was, but Cardi B was in a Kanye West. Kanye West is doing interviews with, from everyone from Big Boy to you name it, from Zane Lowe, he's doing all these crazy interviews, and he's praising Jesus. Now he's Christian. It's not just about the music
awesome,
anymore.
Though. He deserves that platform.
Does he?
He earned it. He made it. He did his thing. He put his diligence in, and he gives his props to his creator. So I salute Kanye. I think he's highly misunderstood and devalued in hip hop.
Tell me
and
about
like
it.
you said, what is it? Part of the cancel culture. It's more or less he's not fitting into the.
Which interview are you referring to?
Pardon?
Which interview are you referring to?
Not just all of it in general. I've seen a couple of his interviews. And I just see the way society treats the man.
Okay.
And like he said, that Big Boy interview, he hits that shit on the head. Like he calls it out. Like he calls everything up, and everything that I heard him say and break down, he backed it up with
Yeah. Hold on. Pause.
He cleaned the slate with it.
I want to interject real quick. Is there any way possible, Luke, like you can pull up the clip of where Big Boy asked him, do you care about, they made mention of Black Twitter and how Black Twitter is like butchering him and they're murdering him. And
he said he cares about that.
But then he asked him about white Twitter and his reaction was a little bit different. Like, did you catch that?
See that. Play that part for me again.
Yeah, all right. No, okay.
Yeah, it was that he said he didn't care about Black Twitter, but then Big Boy's response was, how about white Twitter?
Yeah, and then he started mentioning how he's good friends with the CEO of Twitter, and just listen. We got it. We got the audio. Let's play this.
Kanye
Is it really Black Twitter though?
Listen.
I mean, if we agree or not agree with you, just when you say the wrong color hat.
Yeah, think about this for a hat. This is one of my main things. It's like, what is the culture? It's like, man, this ain't for the culture. We doing something for the culture. We are orphans, bro. We are cultureless. We don't have our own culture. We sign to culture vultures. We sign our life away. Our contracts are culture vultures. Think about everything that's cultural. Taking a knee is cultural. Being on social media is cultural. Wearing high fashion is cultural. Pushing a foreign is cultural. All these things are not owned by our culture.
Agreed.
So who designed the culture?
That's agreed.
What does it mean to do it for the culture? That's why I do it for Christ.
Agreed.
And that's when you bring Christ in, that's a hell of a blanket. That's a beautiful big blanket. But I do have to kind of sit with you and talk about when we say the beliefs, the things like that. And this isn't an interview that I wanted to talk about anything political, but you did kind of go there. You know what I'm saying? You did kind of go there under the guise of, of Christ, and I understand that. But do you feel, and we haven't had a chance to talk, do you feel like people didn't understand Kanye at the time? How much of that was Kanye? How much of that was Kanye not being on his mental game? How much of that was Kanye on the breakdown and the breakthrough?
I love this also because Kobe Bryant won 5 championships. He sprained all kind of muscles all through his body, tore ligaments. And for people to go to Kanye West, where I'm playing in the highest level of mental sport, I had Mark Zuckerberg wanting to meet with me. You know what I'm saying? I had people come to want to meet with me that are makers of the world at this point. So I'm playing at this mental sport as a black man, post-Pac, post-Biggie, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, in debt, completely controlled. The management knows how much exactly you're making on your tour, and it's just $2 less than what your house costs. And I'm ending up in debt every year.
There's a point where
and then I have a breakdown. I should have a hospital in the back of our room for what I'm dealing with. Don't NBA players got their knees iced every time? I need to just leave every day, just go right to UCLA for the level of game and sport that I'm working at.
I mean, he said some valuable shit in here too, but this is not the part where he asked about white Twitter. But you know what? Regardless, let's pause on that. Basically, you're gonna look it up. That'll be your homework. We'll bring it up next up. I guess. Next
I like to tell the viewers, I absolutely do not do homework. So if I check for it, I check for it. I'm probably a shitty co-host, but you know what?
No,
when it's worth checking, I check it.
What are you talking? No, first of all, don't say that.
No, bro, I'm just saying that. Like I said, don't talk about my man Kanye. Kanye backs it up. People want to play like he's crazy because he's vocal.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And what happened with Kanye, I said it before in the last show, the man is woke. So he's no longer playing sides of the field. So now you got the man who's not in pocket. It becomes a problem. So now he's going against the grain for the grain that allowed him to get through the door. He's not playing with them no more. So that's why everybody has an issue with him. Like he said, when I called George Bush out, they saying Kanye crazy, this and that, praising me. But now I'm saying I shouldn't have to vote democratically because I'm black. It's becoming an issue. Like the man backed up his interview 110. Like, great interview. He made his points. His points were valid. It's just people ain't trying to give the man a break, yo, because they want him to be a puppet.
I'm not.
And that's what it is.
Listen, this is the thing that you need to understand. I'm not knocking Kanye for what he's doing. I'm knocking Kanye for his, I don't know, maybe his lack of, I think maybe he needs to be a little bit more forward, even more forward.
I think he's as forward as possible.
I think
he has repentance.
No.
With the lyrics and the content he said.
Okay, listen, the whole Jesus is King thing, and yeah, that's cool, right? And I believe that all of that is possible. You really could have felt in your heart and your spirit that you repented, and you're this and you're that, and you only care about what Jesus Christ thinks, and that's cool. But you have to also understand that you're taking on a certain perception that looks kind of contradictory. Like, it's like 1 minute it's one thing, it's 1 minute it's another. And don't talk about Jesus being love and Jesus is this, but you're a Trump supporter. There comes a huge discrepancy there, because you're talking about peace, right? We're talking about peace. We're talking about love. We're talking about the Bible and how people should be and how we should all be equal and loving and this, and this. Oh, and when I don't fear anything but God. Like, then how do you support somebody who clearly bestows hate and promotes and advocates? No, we're not all equal.
But if you're into
it
the
ain't
Bible,
about that game.
if you're into the Bible and Christianity, then you even know that Jesus had direct conversations with Satan himself.
Okay.
So there's still a parallel for you to go and agree to disagree. You can still have a unit, and part of the Bible and Christianity itself is to love those unconditionally and open up
Well, when it makes
to
you
those
money,
unconditionally.
it's
So you
less
take the good and the bad as a whole.
Okay, but what is he doing with that? You know, he said in one of these interviews that thanks to Jesus, he saved $65 million in taxes.
Yeah, like suppose you got $65 million.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
As a tax break.
That's cool. What'd you do with that $65 million?
Who knows?
Are you going to give it away to people who really need it? Because Jesus is within you and you are this kind, kindred spirit. Are you going to give it away to people who need it? Are you going to create platforms for people to actually use that money in a positive way? Are you going to inspire creativity amongst the youth?
Well, that's what he said he's doing, though. Isn't he building like a compound and factories?
What is he building? No, he's building a church. Well, obviously, he's already doing that. He was building a monastery, right? A monastery in Calabasas, California, which Calabasas, California happens to be one of the most expensive cities in the United States, if not the world, right? So is tuition free? I doubt it.
No.
I doubt it. If you're selling fucking merch that says church on your socks that costs $60, $70 a pair, I highly doubt that it has to do about the good of the people and helping people. Nah, man, like, listen, all of these things could be said true, but you're still greedy. So to me, you're a walking contradiction. Like, just like all of us, I get it. But to act like, what I mean by him being more transparent is saying, listen, I found God, and it happens to be that it really coincides with me doing better in terms of my business. So I'm looking out for me and mine. You may not agree with it, but that's me being all the way, it is what it is. Yeah. So it's like, and I like kind of like how Rihanna is. Rihanna is, you know, she says openly, I'm not a role model. I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm going to smoke weed. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Fuck what you feel about it. Fuck what you think about it. This is who I am. And Kanye preaches being that said person, but he's not really that said person. You are maybe a good 75% of it, and I'm being generous, but you're really not.
Yeah, but they ever say he's 100% this?
He says it all the time. He says it in all his interviews and everything that he's ever.
100%
he says that he's not scared. Yeah, he says he's not scared of anybody but Jesus or God.
Okay, well, does that have to do with being a perfect person, though?
It's not about him being a perfect person. I feel like
if you're holding him accountable to be 100%.
If you're preaching Christianity and you're preaching helping people and saving people and being a different person, then what are you doing to help other people?
Why don't we just wait for the process and see?
I mean, we could. And you know what?
15 years up to now. That's not Kanye bash. Let's give him another 15 years.
I'm not bashing him. I still love it. I still love his whole catalog.
You like his catalog, but it doesn't seem like you like him.
I don't like the way he's maneuvering. Yeah. I don't like the way he's maneuvering.
Kanye,
do I understand it? Do I understand it? Yeah.
Team Yeezy.
I understand it.
I don't even own a pair, but Kanye, keep doing your thing.
I understand it. I get it.
College Dropout, top 10 album. Don't sleep on it.
Late registration.
College Dropout.
Late registration.
Nah, graduation.
Huh?
Yeah, I go College Dropout, and then I go straight to graduation. Give me the first and give me the third.
All right, so College Dropout, best track on there.
Spaceship.
You ain't really know him. Why is he lying?
What was it, Family Business?
Family Business?
Yeah.
Wasn't that it?
Oh, man, let's pull up the fucking...
No, like... You know what? All right. Let's get off this topic. I'm done talking about Kanye because you guys think I hate Kanye. Well, you didn't really say much, Luke, but, you know... I think it's all a business move. I think it's disingenuous. And I think he should just be as honest as he can be. But, you know, it is
Never
what it
let
is.
me down. Hard. 2 words. Hard. Family business. Hard.
Hey, that was
Yeah,
that shit.
exactly, boy. Jay ate that. Ye ate that.
Late registration,
But
though.
really,
Gone
Kanye
with
and
Consequence and
Hova,
Cameron.
Jigga and Ye need to get back and do another album, man.
How we
Just-
feeling about that? Have you
that
been
needs to be done.
listening to Dame lately?
Dame who? Dame Dash?
Yeah.
What he been doing?
Dame Dash Studios.
What?
Dame Dash has his own film production.
He
TV
been had all
company.
that.
Well, I mean, now he's pushing. He's
going
putting
back
it
it
out
again?
More.
Well, salute to Dame Dash, man, because when he did that Beanie
salute to
Siegel,
Dame Dash, if ever.
he did that Beanie
Him and I
Siegel
can sit
album,
down
boy.
and talk.
That was one of Beanie's hardest albums. Way back, but you know that, like when
Beans
they had
is
their little
fucked up,
split.
isn't he?
Nah, Beans is out. He just, lost a lung. He don't sound the same.
What's going on with him? And Memphis Bleak seems to have the
Memphis Bleak is
Jay-Z
Gucci,
umbrella.
man.
Like, what's going on?
Memphis Bleak is good. He brought up the Duce fam. Man, Bleak ain't missing nothing.
Okay.
Man, Bleak ain't aging. He got that Ice Cube DNA, boy. Man, Bleak look the same like it's 96.
Oh my goodness, really?
Man, don't age. He looking good, getting that guap.
Luke, what do you think about what do you think about the Rockefeller age? Bleak or Beans?
What, rap?
Yeah.
Nah, it's Beans all day. Like
Beans?
the streets
Too
know
young to
that
be
one.
fully versed in giving you a proper
And
answer.
Rockefeller?
Nah, son, like
Really?
we have to go for the. If you take the album and the content and who carried the torch, like Bleak is great, Bleak is dope, Bleak is Bleak, but Beans is an animal. That's a whole different. That's a whole different monster to the game. Prior to the losing the lung and everything, you know what I mean, and then getting shot up. But if you take them albums, Beanie Siegel drop, a beast. Can't mess with them.
Okay, so wait, all right. Did we do
Awesome.
like off topic, off the old school? Did we touch on Angela Yee and Gucci yet?
Nah.
Nah. All right, so let's talk about briefly. Let's let the listeners know. Angela Yee and you can give a little brief history, and then I'll carry it from there.
For what?
With the Angela Yee thing, because I know you knew the.
Oh, with I guess there was a confrontation with her and Gucci about some, prior talks of flirtation or hooking up, and there was a fallout later on with the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne doing a Gucci interview by himself.
What do you?
I guess the whole thing stems down. It snowballed into an interview not being done with Gucci Mane for like a press release. So it's kind of dated, but it's just.
Let's bring the listeners up to like long story less long. Like, what is it that basically she did an interview?
You would know more than me, yeah.
Well, okay. Gucci Mane and Angela Yee did an interview. I want to say almost 10 years ago, and which Angela Yee had been asking him about Kishikure videos and his likes and dislikes about women. And a lot of people perceived this said interview as being flirtatious. He then later on did an interview where he was on the Breakfast Club, and that's where he called her out, correct?
Yeah.
And he basically called her out saying, hey, you were trying to holler at me, basically. You were shooting your shot.
Yeah.
And, we didn't get anywhere. But before we even get into like who could be lying and who could not be lying, because the main thing right now is there's steam going on Charlamagne because of the fact that Charlamagne actually sat down and did the interview with him, despite Yee obviously not being there, as well as Envy. So I definitely want your opinion as that being that. And it's kind of funny, 2 men and 1 female in the room, and we're conducting a podcast. It's a show. But can we get into Luke the clip of Yee when she was talking to him back in 2010, correct? And this was on
I'm
Shades.
curious to specifically hear Lex in position of Charlamagne though. Like if you think, say for example, it was Draya instead of Angela Yee in the same events transpired.
Yeah.
Would you do the Gucci Mane interview?
It depends. Like, my thing is, if I would talk to Angela Yee or I would talk to Dre, like, what exactly happened. Now, if something she chose to go into or not, then I would make my decision from that and ask her out of consideration as a friend and as a colleague, like, hey, would you object to me handling this interview, and let me know from there. But again, we don't know if that was talked amongst them behind closed doors. So we can go make this assumption that, oh yeah, Charlamagne just went and did him because he has his own agenda or whatever. But at the same time, he's in the business to do that to make his own platform. But me, of how I roll and how I am, I would address it with my colleagues first and ask what their opinion and take is, whether if it's being done as a collaborative effort
Do you have permission?
or being done solo. It's not about asking permission. Permission is two different things. It's more giving consideration
I hear you.
to ask, like, hey, what's going on?
Okay.
This is a circumstance or situation we have to interview. You don't want to do it. Why you don't want to do it? And now, since you don't want to do it, would you mind if I go ahead and do it? That would just be my take and my run at it. But again, we don't know what happened.
Because there's a discrepancy between how apparently both sides, like Gucci Mane is saying one thing and then Angela Yee is saying another.
That's not what I heard. They both seem to be saying that that Charlamagne warned her. He told her, but he didn't ask her. He had no interest in giving her power over whether or not he could do an interview on his own channel, on his own situation.
Yeah,
the whole being banned from the Breakfast Club thing?
Gucci Mane was banned from the Breakfast Club.
Was
That's
he
what
really
they say.
banned? Like,
I mean,
can you get banned from the Breakfast Club?
It's a shadow ban. Like,
it's just like, oh, we don't want to talk to you.
If Envy go, yeah, we're not going to bring him back. That might as well be a ban.
I get
don't
that.
have a list up saying who's banned from the studio, but I guarantee you, there's double-digit people on there.
Yeah, I get that,
right.
But then it goes back to, like you're saying, like, who are they to really give him the authority to say, oh, you can't do that? Like,
the power behind the show.
No, but he has his own platform, though. So, like, Gucci Mane, at the end of the day, is an artist. So the artist is always going to be acceptable to other platforms.
Who has the other platform? You talking about Charlamagne?
Charlamagne has his own show.
But wasn't
he has his own podcast?
Wasn't it on the Breakfast Club?
No.
Oh, it was his own platform.
This is his own
Okay,
shit.
there's a confusion there. Okay, well...
And there's some people saying that he should have just edited that part out. There's some people saying he shouldn't have done it at all. I am fully, honestly, myself with Charlamagne on it. I think he should have done everything he did, and he's been as respectful as he should be. Like, he doesn't owe anyone more than what he's given them, especially based off the track record of Angela Yee and DJ.
I'm not gonna lie.
In his defense, though, Charlamagne makes the Breakfast Club. We don't listen to it for Angela Yee or DJ Envy.
You're right.
I don't listen to it for Envy's mix or any of this.
I want to say something.
In there. We listen for Charlamagne.
Okay, I want to say something as a woman that might amuse the both of you, but play this clip first.
Is that what they say?
What they say?
I was going to say deep. So now, if you got married, would you get a prenup?
It depends on who I married.
Really? You would consider not doing that?
Yeah, I would consider that.
What kind of woman would you want to marry?
Marry. What kind of woman I want to marry?
If you had to pick all the qualities that you look for, what's important? Besides a fat ass. Well, you can make an ass fat, you said.
No, not this. She ain't got no fat ass.
Really?
She just had to be, I'm saying, she had to be fun. And she had to be real. She had to be spontaneous.
Okay.
And she can't just be on the spot, just keep me going. And if she don't like no street shit, it ain't gonna go. I don't say she's not the opposite of me, but she gotta like this shit, cause this shit is what it is. And she don't feel like this is what she want, it ain't gonna go. I like women who like me.
Yeah, who like you for you. They're not gonna try to change you, in other words.
Like, even if they're not, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily like, like me or compatible to me, they like what I am, because I am who I am.
Okay. And pretty damn cool guy at that. Now, all right, well, we were talking about you before you came. They took it.
I don't know nobody took it. Too many people around me for somebody to take something from me.
Maybe it was somebody around you.
Man.
Damn.
Can't nobody take shit from me. Ain't nobody never took nothing from me.
I just took something. You didn't even feel it.
So you can take it. Can you take it?
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
Oh, really?
That's it?
Okay, first of all, the amusing part, what I was going to say is, you don't speak like that to a man unless you're being flirtatious.
Nah, bro, it's the whole thing of dialogue just being funny.
Nah, that's not being funny. That's being flirtatious. The
Flirtatious
tone.
doesn't mean, but
I'm telling you as a woman.
I know, but flirtatious is just flirtatious.
Flirtatious is flirtatious, but what it makes his story more believable is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it counts against her.
I never not.
You know,
did not believe him.
and you know, so with that being said, if it were me, and to correspond with Luke with what he said as far as you're concerned, if we were in the same scenario and you were offered that type of opportunity, not saying like, oh my God, the opportunity that's making or breaking your career, but it does generate content that will be viewed. And I would tell you, go ahead, interview him, especially if he is lying. If he's telling the truth, then at that point I probably wouldn't care anymore.
But the interview, see, that's the whole shit.
My thing is, go ahead and do it.
The interview has nothing
Get
to do
his
with the
perspective,
supposed
do it.
them hooking up or not, or her trying to get at him.
I would say go ahead and do it, and then just see how it works out. I wouldn't be mad about it, is what I'm saying. I would say, you know what? I'm on tape I'm interviewing and I'm flirting. I'm being a hypocrite by saying, like, whether or not something did or did not happen, it's up for question. And guess what? Right now, people are entertained by it. So let them speculate all they want. Go ahead, do the interview. Yeah, Me and you are still good.
But the interview
It doesn't matter what the world thinks. It's how I would look at it. Like, what do you mean? How?
Because the interview that Charlamagne conducted has nothing to do about the history or the flirtatiousness between her and Gucci Mane.
But it's about the loyalty. That was the whole thing. The whole thing is it wrong for Charlamagne to have done that interview with somebody who Angela Yee has beef with?
No, it's not wrong at all, though. That's already been established. Like, Charlamagne is Charlamagne the God. Charlamagne the God existed before the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God was already ousted from the radio station he was at.
He's part of the Breakfast Club team.
And he's the major component to that team.
That's like being TDE and somebody speaking about SZA, and then they're talking to Kendrick about it.
I get that part.
It looks crazy.
But I think it's being way hyped up more than that circumstance should have been.
I agree.
And I don't agree
let
with
alone
because media is so different. Like, he's interviewing an artist.
Should
he just like eliminate all content that
for everybody who's mad at him?
I think he did the right thing.
Having conversations.
Right.
You should have conversations. Shouldn't even be on your team. Realistically.
And shit, like, I'm not even trying to knock though, but just hearing that little tidbit there just proves like why I don't listen to them like that. Like, you look for Charlamagne because he asks us those questions. Right. To me, he is a curator and an avid voice in hip hop that is much needed today to ask those questions and do those interviews and bring up those subject matters that are taboo or not spoken about. A lot of people give him flack, but I think he's great at what he does.
I agree.
Again, like, when he's not on the show, there's no real. It's totally two different interviews. When you remove that component of Charlotte, exactly. When you remove him,
right.
When they have shows where he's not in the building, it's a totally different show.
True. Kind of like when
he's like you. You know, he does his homework. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm like the envy of the.
Thank you.
Hey. But so like don't knock Charlamagne. If shit happened with
I don't knock
Gucci,
Charlamagne. I honestly feel like I said, I just said
chicks get open for different things.
I just said if it were me, I would encourage my friend, like, go talk to him. Go talk to him and see what's up.
Yeah, but the way you're saying it, sounds like there's kind of shade to it.
No, what I mean, it could be shade between.
You get what I'm hearing, Luke?
It could, yeah.
It's that condescending shit. Yeah, like, go nigga, go.
Yeah.
It's like when your girlfriend tells you, like, you can go out with your homeboys, but you know she don't mean it. Like, go have fun.
I know. I more so mean it like, go.
Exactly.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, exactly. That's that. You know, that's that shade.
It's
that's like your girlfriend. Go out with your homeboys.
But it's entertaining
go
because
have fun.
I want to see how you defend and represent me.
But there would be no representation. Because if he does,
but what if he did say something like wild and crazy? There were certain parts that he could have cut out, like you said.
We don't know though. That's hypothetical. So
I mean,
so you gotta go. You gotta go look at the material.
Now
it just sounds like some bullshit court shit.
I wouldn't be mad though.
It sounds like all the hypotheticals and possibilities. No, let's go look at the material for what it is, top to bottom, and see what was that. So what was been presented out there, nothing has been said about her because it's irrelevant. Let alone
that clip that just played was against her. I'm not being like
that shit was recent. That shit was like
no,
past.
that was in 2010.
But that's what I'm saying. So that shit's irrelevant.
But it's very relevant. It's relevant in the
It's
sense
irrelevant.
of she's been put herself out there to be like, all right,
Yeah, but
so
that's
what's
what I'm
up?
saying. It's extra
So, I
relevant
mean, she likes
he's been
him.
on the Breakfast Club numerous times way after that interview. So that
likes
shit
him.
don't mean nothing. Who cares?
Either they did or they didn't. Like, it is what it is.
That's
Who cares?
like, yo, every
The major point was, should Envy have done what he did in a sense of, oh, I'm not partaking. Angela, he actually, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, should they be a unit, like a united front? Or should it just be like, all right, that's between you and him?
Nah, they're a unit when it pertains to shit dealing with the Breakfast Club. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? And then again, he's his own personality and has
But
his own
apparently
endeavors.
there was
like when that
supposed to
nigga
be an
does his
interview with
MTV
him.
shows and shit like that, they ain't with him. When she does
But
her
there-
little things, they ain't with him. When Envy be doing his other programmings and record albums, it ain't doing the Breakfast Club album. It's doing DJ Envy presents blah blah
Okay.
blah. Like they're their own entities. When they come as a collective to do they shit, that's they shit. And when it comes to them doing the shit with the Breakfast Club, they're not in charge like that. They got a program director. They got some other else with fucking numbers that they need to meet, who's bringing them and saying we doing this, that. They may have an input and suggestion, but there's a bigger dynamic behind them to make their show go. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Charlamagne is doing his own shit probably with other entities to make his shit go.
So let me ask you something. Do you believe that they have chemistry
Of course.
as a trio?
Yeah.
Like true inherent chemistry.
That works, yeah, there's a bond.
Do you?
I mean, everything is a form of chemistry. I think that they can work well together, but realistically, kind of ties back to what he's saying about Charlamagne being the star of that show. Like, there's no question for anyone actually watching and consuming the content that it would pretty much fall apart very quickly if they had more than a single episode without Charlamagne in a row.
What's the proper word I'm trying to use, man? He gives it validity. Validity. Yeah, my
Literally.
bad. English sucks, y'all. Validity. Like,
But he really does. And honestly, when it comes down to the behavior and ego and insecurities of Angela Yee and DJ Envy, from what I've seen, they both seem like a bit of a prima donna situation.
that light skin shit.
What do you mean, prima donna?
I mean, they both consistently have problems with people that are based in their own egos in ways that I've never seen Charlamagne do, nor other people. Like, it really just makes Angela Yee, in my eyes, look more insecure because she has all these issues. Like, the same reason that you would say, yeah, go get your content to your fucking co-host. It's like, she's saying, what are you doing to me? She's acting like it's happening to her instead of her not acknowledging the fact that she's trying to have control over her co-host and his career. Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's selfish.
Is that right?
Yeah, like Charlamagne always keeps it 100, man. He asks the right questions. He
She didn't come out and bash
He
him.
always keeps his
She
composure.
didn't come out and bash him. She
Level-headed.
let him do what he did.
But she has,
I think everyone's
but
being
she does.
subtle.
No. Listen. She cannot let him do what she did because she has no control over him. She is not the
Exactly.
nigga's manager. She's not the nigga's mama. So she
coulda
cannot let me do
bashed-
nothing.
She coulda
Like
bashed him.
she can bash, and then she's
coulda-
gonna even look more bitter.
she
Like
coulda just-
nobody
she
can
coulda
come
been
and say,
extra.
nigga, you
She
cannot
hasn't
do
been
something,
extra.
dog. You get what I'm saying? That
But she
is
hasn't
crazy.
been extra. She hasn't been extra.
She can't be extra because it'll make her look stupid. What are you being extra for? Because you
I mean,
in the
you're
feeling,
right. I'm
because
just
the
saying
nigga
that.
says some shit that's probably
If
true.
she didn't say anything about it, then where's the controversy come from?
No, she's spoken out
Some
about
made
it.
up shit, probably, yo. That's what I'm saying.
she
Like
say?
this
She-
shit don't
she's
even make
spoken
sense. Even jumping on this, like it's like you
Just
said.
recently, she spoke about it, and she just said that, that they spoke about it, that her and Charlamagne spoke about it, and that she's okay. That she told him that, you know what, do whatever it is that you got to do. But me personally, I don't want to engage in an interview with somebody that I cannot trust. Somebody who told lies on me. So how do I know that you're not going to use your?
She said all that shit,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
maybe
she did.
she's selling that shit more than what it is, yo. She's
No,
trying to add
that's what I'm
some-
telling you. They were
She's trying to add some size to the soup.
I'm almost 100% sure, and I don't know if you want to fact check, but I'll
Well, I
fact check
think
it in a
she's also-
second.
Based off that wording, I try to look for when people are pre-invalidating someone's words. Like, when you're afraid someone's going to say something about you, whether it's true or false, and you're trying to invalidate it before it's totally out of their mouth, that more puts my eyes on you instead of the person.
It's kind of crazy though. You think they have tougher skin being in the field they're in for all those years. You know what I mean? Because as long as the Breakfast Club's been on, she's been around before that. So
yeah, she's been around before.
yeah, you know she has a long resume.
She's a vet in the game.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, they
She
all
got a long vet.
resumes, but
Yeah, they do.
The issue.
They all 20 years deep with their stuff.
Envy and Yee are both in a position of watching Charlemagne's rise continue, and their brands have suffered in their reaction.
They all getting their money, but Charlemagne the Star, man, he got a lot of opportunities.
Yeah,
He's
but
vocal.
He's lapped to them. At
Yeah,
this
he
point.
got books and all that shit.
think
Like the man does his thing.
The fact that they can't be openly bitter about it makes them even more pent up about it.
Nah, but see, sometimes though, like it depends, man. Like again, we're just
There's not
assuming.
gonna be no fucking breakfast.
Nah, but Envy's paid though.
Guys.
Envy's
what do you
paid.
think
It's a great.
Family man. Now he's trying to have that.
Nah, he been a family man though.
What do you think
it's a
he's
great,
trying to be?
It's a great move for Envy, man. Envy
It
been
is,
doing
but
it.
I'm saying he doesn't like.
Envy put it down for years and years before the Breakfast Club, but now he's in a solidified, syndicated show like across all platforms and shit. The Breakfast Club is a great thing. It is a big thing. It has changed radio. You know what I mean? They have stepped up and then brought radio to TV.
Every day, people with
Even-
bigger things step into his room for him to have to meander around, and I think there's I'm probably reading too much into it.
Yeah.
It just really seems to me like DJ Envy wishes he was more of a mogul than is. Or
Yeah.
further along. I mean, because he's been in the game for so long that it seems like if he had made certain moves at certain points that other people had made along with him, he might be somewhere else. I don't know if that weighs on
I guess
his mind.
the most Envy could probably want maybe at that kind of point, like would try to be like equivalent to a Khaled. Or it would be
Exactly.
to try to be like a Khaled.
Also lapped him many times.
But that's what I'm saying. Khaled,
yeah.
Khaled killed the game for everybody. Like every other DJ trying to make an album, Khaled surpassed them beyond measure. Like everybody. Because even back in like our time, it was Funk Flex dropping his mixtapes and like mixtape / a couple freestyles and maybe a couple studio tracks in there on like a series of 4 or 5 albums. They went gold. They did their thing. They had major distribution from the time, but Khaled came and changed the genre of that.
I mean,
you
yeah,
had the
because
dramas
he was
coming.
pairing
You had the
up-
Envy. You had a lot of DJs out there. The Felly Fells making albums.
I mean,
but
but
Khaled
he's-
took that shit to like a stratosphere, like
Yeah,
with
he's a
a run
producer,
that's
though.
still going.
He's a full-blown producer.
It's
Yes, he is.
beyond that though.
Yeah, it's beyond that, but he has a good ear. He has a good ear for matching who works well with
maybe
who.
that too. But
And that
also
comes
too,
from DJing.
when you got so many motherfuckers at your disposal under your belt and in your phone to call and reach out, you can
But
pick
I remember
fucking
Khaled
20.
when Khaled, as much as I don't like Khaled personally, and
Khaled
that's
a
just
good
because,
dude, man.
My interactions with him have been kind of like, he's pretentious. But outside of that, like, I respect his craft. I remember when Khaled was doing mixes on 99 Jams, his 4 or 5 o'clock hour, whatever it was, he was touching on dance hall and reggae and all this different
Yeah,
shit.
he was really a
and he
reggae
was
DJ.
ill. I used to record his sets. So to me, I'm like, I used to record Khaled sets. And even back in the day when I used to be with Terror Squad and all them niggas, and he was part of Terror Squad. And so, like, we used to be around them all the time. He used to be spinning at Crowbar, at Mansion, at all these clubs. You respect him as a DJ.
Yeah.
And then to see him from a DJ step up to a full-blown producer who's pairing up major artists with another major artist, like, you can't hate on that. You know what I'm saying?
I always
Like,
seen him as a
I respect
strong
him
personality.
I respect him as a
He's
strong
charismatic.
personality, and as a come up, he's charismatic.
To me, it's more personality
funny.
than DJ.
And he owns
His vocal
himself.
set outpaces his DJ
voice,
craft.
His voice is crazy because it's very distinctive.
Yeah.
And and then I love the fact that he represents his son the way that he does. There's a lot of things that he does.
That's
There's a lot of
extraordinary.
there's a lot of things that he does that I respect. So I'm like, salute to Khaled. And I know a lot of people that work within his team, and they're doing
Khaled
their
a good
thing.
dude, man. Very, very positive.
Shout out to the 305.
And before the fame, homie was always giving praise and thanks to the Most High. So like, he's a humble dude, yo. Like, I know him quite well over the years and prior to that, but he's a good dude, solid.
What do you think? What do you think, Luke? Before we close out and get out of here,
On Khaled?
on Khaled.
Well, to be fair, the Khaled thing just started as a thread with me comparing DJ Envy to. You know what? I just realized the irony of his name, and that's where I'm going to leave that.
Ha. Good one.
I literally can't believe that just hit me, but I think he doomed himself the day he named himself.
Yeah. That's deep. They always say
We
there's a
got
lot
some
to
other
your name.
topics to touch on. You ready?
Run it.
All right. Well, all right. So, all right, we're gonna take a little break. We got Lex-Roc over here who has a business meeting pending. We can't hold you up any longer.
Nah, it's been fun. You know how it is. Episode 8.
Moves to make.
But, you know,
You got moves to make. I understand.
gotta go look out for some sponsorships. You know, gotta go
Sponsorships.
get some, beverages on the table, some coffee mugs, some T-shirts. Advertise here. Nah, just fucking with y'all. But
Call it into existence. It's gonna happen. It's only
Draya,
bound to.
nah, it's always affirmation, y'all. Key word.
Affirmation.
Y'all, Luke's gonna put the little spelling right there somewhere on the screen.
Oh, they're on there. Somewhere around there.
Don't leave it up to me and my English. All right.
Shut up. Anyways, much love to you. And enjoy the rest of your day.
All love.
Until next time.
Episode 8.
Episode 8.
Ivy Talks.
All right.
UKT dot, what up?
Pause.
305, New York, what up?
What's up, Queens? All right. So anyway, I want to get into a question that I would love a man's perspective on.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we'll close it out because I love to close out with things that are meaningful and thoughtful. So my question is, how important is chemistry in a romantic relationship? And okay, let me elaborate a little more.
sky blue question.
Okay, well, let me elaborate a little more so that you can give me a more in-depth answer. How important is chemistry in a romantic relationship, and does it overshadow physical attraction and perhaps other attributes that would attract one person to set the next person?
No, I think all those attributes make up chemistry. I think when you're talking about chemistry, you're referring to the myriad of variables that potentially either attract or detract from that chemical reaction, if you would.
Okay. A chemical reaction.
Well, chemistry. That's what you're saying when you're talking about chemistry, chemical reaction.
So what do you think about, okay, so do you think that chemistry and energy are the same thing?
I think people use them the same. They can be the same.
Okay. Well, I mean, there is research that shows that certain people are inherently attracted to one another based on their immune system.
I think it all goes hand in hand, is my point.
It's animalistic to a degree. But, I just wanted to know a man's perspective because as women, we often believe that men are just visual creatures and then that's it. It's just about how a woman looks and you're good to go.
I mean, that's the starting point for him, yeah.
Okay. Then what comes after that? Talk to us. Talk to the women.
I mean,
let's go.
I'm not a good example just because everybody's pretty different. And I personally am so far removed from even dating right now that I just don't have a set list of priorities in order.
Okay.
So I don't know why.
What about past experiences?
I'm the person you chose for this question.
What about past experiences?
What exactly is the question?
How do you feel chemistry plays a part in the said relationship, and does it overshadow physical attraction?
Again, I think physical attraction is just a part of chemistry.
And then I got into, you said, physical attraction was the first point. So what comes after that?
Ability to understand things, ability to, I don't know, priorities would probably be things that come down the line. I mean, I have had long-term relationships, so I can kind of foresee what can become an issue.
Okay.
So it's more about, as
few red flags as possible.
The idealistic world. So you being a music lover, does she have to love music?
I kind of don't believe the people that say they don't love music.
Okay.
And most people just admit that they like music. So I've never really come across someone with that issue before. I wouldn't know how to deal with that. I might be intrigued, knowing me.
Intrigued?
I might be all right with that. As long as they don't mind me playing music, that might just be like, oh, so I always get to choose the music. Fine.
And then what about intelligence? Is intelligence a big thing? And
Of course, as long as it's not to a fault where, like, with a lot of intelligence can come a lot of issues if you didn't have some sort of fortunate emotional foundation. So the smarter you are, the better your emotional foundation has to be too. Otherwise, you just really are a psychopath at the end of the day.
A psychopath?
You gotta kind of have some level of intelligence to achieve a genuine
A psychopath.
psychoticism, yeah. Because I mean, a psychopath, like a regular crazy girl might, like, you know, when she's younger, like slash your tires or something petty like that. Whereas a psychopath will, like, somehow call into your job as someone else, like something more intelligent, and get you fired, and like something with more genuine repercussions. Like they're just scarier, smarter people.
I'm laughing because it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true because you can become way more creative, you know. But I
So if
wouldn't.
you're smarter, you
I
gotta be
wouldn't
pretty
know anything
stable.
about it. I wouldn't know anything about it.
The smarter someone is, the slower I would go. Would probably be the real, I don't know, plug to that answer.
Okay.
Just because I have to really fucking assess every little thing as a potential red flag.
A potential red flag. And so, what is a red flag?
A red flag is a warning signal that something is bubbling under the surface that will eventually surface if you stay around.
But I mean, that's with everything.
What's with everything?
Red flags. And
Yeah,
things that are not going to go
You're always looking
accordingly.
for some foreshadowing.
I mean, would you say for more red flags than what's the other one? What would be the opposing? The white flag? No, that means like...
No, if I see something where I'm like, that is a exhibition of behavior that is indicative of a serious issue with you, that's a red flag.
Okay.
So there's no other flag. I'm not looking for other flags. I'm looking for the red flag.
So, have you had conversations with other men where they agree on this? Like, where they...
Have other conversations
with other men, and they all, like, you guys all have this... this ideology that...
I am very much a person that develops my own ideologies. I've had conversations, I guess. Usually my red flag conversations with other guys are being like a nudge to the shoulder, to the rib cage, like, hey, I don't know if you noticed this red flag. Yeah, if that's like, I've done it for my father.
Okay.
Like if I see him, you know, talking to someone specific and I see something about them, I literally have gone to my dad and said, hey, that's a fucking red flag. Watch out.
Okay.
And I'm always right.
You're intuitive. You're always right.
When it comes to the nudging of the ribs, take heed of my warnings.
Okay. So, all right, can I close out with something?
Please do.
Because we're about to get out of here, I know. I want to close out, well, Halloween just passed, right? And
If you insist.
I'm sorry?
If you insist.
Well, October 31st.
I believe you.
Which they label it as Halloween. Which is a holiday that's celebrated, you know the whole gist.
You're going to run through the Wikipedia?
No, but you know what I mean. Do you feel like what costume an adult wears is indicative of their beliefs or who they are per se?
No.
Okay, like I'll give you an example. I was dressed as an FBI agent, right? And I had a friend who's I won't mention his name, but he's very I want to say like overly political in a certain way. And he said
PC-ish?
no, like, over, I don't want to say overly, but the pro-black movement, the system hates us and
Okay,
and I
so
get
a
it.
warrior of the offended culture.
Yes, we are the suppressed, which we are, the capitalistic system and in this system and classism.
No, I'm referring to the.
That's what he's against.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but
Yeah.
that would be partaking in offended culture.
Yeah, okay, so he is that. You're right. So obviously we've been friends for a long time, and so to me, when I put the FBI outfit on, I looked at it like it's a costume. Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and my daughter was like a teenage mutant ninja turtle. Like, like it's just Halloween. It's for the gist of it, just for the fun of it. She's a kid.
And it's fun to think that
And it's
the
ki-
Teenage
and it's
Mutant
fun.
Ninja Turtles had finally gotten caught by the feds.
That was the whole point. And her father dressed up as a Ninja Turtle as well. So the whole point was I caught them. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So we thought it was just funny. And, he made a comment saying that, oh, you're representing an American federal pig. And I was like, okay, like you took it way too far left. Like, so I want to know, like, and him and I went back and forth, but without even getting into that, like, I want to know, like, do you believe that that's fair to make a comment like that?
Fair to make a comment like that? Absolutely. I'm super huge fan of freedom of speech.
Okay.
He has every right to make that comment. Do I agree with the comment? Is maybe more pertinent of a question?
Do you agree with the comment?
Of course not. That's silly. That's virtue signaling. That's just trying to be like, oh, this is my cause and I'm going to,
Right.
project it upon you to make
Right.
you think I'm a good person. And virtue signalers hardly ever actually really care about what they're even saying.
And it was just kind of like, you know what? It's amusing. That's all.
It's such a clear motivation that you're literally just trying to come off as better than someone, in my opinion. Because if you really deduce down why someone would even say that about a Halloween costume, which are you like suggesting that every little kid dressed up as a witch is like over here being pro-witch?
Exactly.
Or, you know what I mean?
Like, what are you insinuating? Like,
So
at that
it's
point, where do
obviously
we draw
so
the line?
nonsensical that you can tell when offended culture people are just looking for any opportunity
to say something.
And Halloween costumes are such a popular thing to get offended by that I'm assuming that wasn't the only time that night he had said something to someone about a costume. So he could, like, it's literally where people are getting their dopamine right now.
Just go
There's
get
certain
some
people whose
candy,
whole
guys.
thing is like, let me see if I can be the social police of society.
Let's just go get some candy, guys.
That's the funniest thing is social policing is what he was actually doing.
Oh, you know what? I was just like, you know what?
Hey, you brought it up. I'm telling you, that's social police.
It
So
is.
he was actually
It is.
being police while you were just looking like police.
It is, and I just wanted to say to the listeners, and I just wanted to get your opinion on it because I think it's there. You need to draw a line in what's really offensive. There's a lot of things that are truly offensive and in our faces, and people ignore it. And then when they try to find a reason to say something, they reach. So it's like, come on, like you don't even sound like smart right now. Like, what are you saying? Like, like think about the comments that you make and even the premise and the background of Halloween itself. It's not meant to be that serious.
Don't realize that their motivation is self-righteous if they're doing these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think
if you even told them or actually tried to give them some level of self-awareness, usually that's going to be combated with just more.
Oh, of course, they get offended.
Yeah.
They get offended.
Yeah.
And I just don't have time for it anymore. I just rather have good conversation with people like you and, to the listeners, to people who understand, like, there's more than one perspective. That's the biggest thing is, like, there's more than one perspective to someone can think the sky is blue, someone can think that, like, it's red.
And more importantly,
And
everyone
why
that doesn't
not?
have your perspective isn't a bad person and wrong.
It's not. But anyways, I'll leave that and we'll get out of here. And I wanted to thank you for your time,
Thank you.
for partaking in episode number 8.
Episode 8.
This is Draya Ivy signing off at _Ivy Talks. Follow, like, and subscribe. And plug yourself in, Luke. Come on.
Follow at Minds Wide.
All right, you're so simple with it. And shout out to iLive UK. Shout out to the listeners. And we're out.
Ivy Talks.
Ivy Talks.
You're listening to iLive Radio.
The internet's #1 on the World Wide Web. iLive Radio.